Commissioner Bento, you got it? Okay, perfect. Mahalo, I'm gonna turn off.
Thanks, Malia. Okay, Velina nui o ke aloha ia o ko pakahi a pau. So good to see you folks. I'm going to start the meeting and call us to order today at 2:33 p.m. As usual, I'm going to start with our roll call. And then if you could state that you're present and that you're by yourself. So chair is present and I'm by myself. Vice Chair Salah. Vice Chair Salah.
Present and by myself.
Commissioner Bento. Commissioner Bento.
Present and by myself.
Commissioner Ani Bena.
Present and by myself.
Commissioner De Silva.
Present and by myself. Thank you.
Commissioner Hussey.
Present and by myself.
Commissioner Keokalole.
Present and by myself.
And then Commissioner Lum.
Present and by myself.
And Commissioner Onishi is excused today. Awesome. Thanks so much, members. I'm going to go ahead and call for public testimony. If there are any members of the public wishing to testify on today's agenda item, please go ahead and unmute and turn on your camera and let us know. Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, gonna go ahead and move on to our next agenda item, which is our approval of our minutes from the October 25th, 2025 meeting. I apologize, these got stuck with me in approving them. So members, I recognize you folks got them late. But if you folks are comfortable and had a chance to look, I'm good. Oh, thanks staff. I went off to the races and the commissioners just let me go. We're gonna try this again. I was excited, I was so ready. I'm gonna turn it over to Commissioner Keokalole for an introduction for our vehena.
Okay, mahalo and aloha everyone. So for the vehena today, I was hoping that we could take a moment to reflect on our history. We've had several conversations since I've been a member of the commission about how the Festival Pacific Arts and Culture in Hawaii is an opportunity for us to do a number of exciting and I think very important things. One is to showcase our arts and cultural practices to this Pacific community. One is to host delegations who have welcomed us over the years and hosted prior festivals. And another one is to strengthen and I think in many ways reconnect with many of our fellow Pacific peoples. So in thinking about that, it really, for me, brought to mind Kalakaua, whose role in our history is, I think, really significantly tied to those 3 specific efforts. As king, but also prior to serving as king, Kalakaua worked diligently to restore Hawaiian art and cultural practices as acceptable and to bring them back into the mainstream, to significant criticism and controversy. He was in many ways an international head of state, notably traveling the world and hosting delegations to establish Hawaii's prominence as an international venue. And he also sought to connect and strengthen those same ties with our fellow Pacific communities, at one point proposing to create a Polynesian Confederation. And so, you know, in many ways, I think that this effort is a continuation of many of the things that Kalakaua initiated and worked toward during his time as king. And so for this vehena, I was hoping that we could just take some time and reflect on that. And I asked Mehana to come on to provide us some more mana'o about his impact and role from an arts and cultural standpoint on our lahui. So Mehana, mahalo nui for coming and joining us today.
Yeah, no, mahalo, Senator. Mahalo for the invitation. Aloha inahua, ho'aina, inahua aloha. No keia kono ana mai, mahalo nui. You know, this is, I'm preaching to the choir today, right? Each of you on here are steeped with your own experiences and knowledge of Kalakaua. Yeah, and when Senator had asked, you know, to help Kako'o his statements, yeah, and share, he really nailed it already, right? He provided the you know, the buckets from which, you know, we can you know, draw from when it comes to Kalakaua. But also, I think only the things that I can add to this is his motto of Ho'ululahui, right? That and his ability to have been that ali'i that it was very innovative and not afraid, or none of them were afraid of new technologies or ideas, but him more so than others in times of great challenge, both political, both in the public health, you know, arena and culturally, right, was fearless and unafraid to take those steps and put forth not only the best of Hawaii, but also to reclaim space and reclaim those strengths that our ancestors have brought forward, right? So ho'ululahui, in this time post-COVID, and in our ability to gather the Pacific here in our homeland, to do that, it is befitting that Kalakaua be the ali'i that we can draw inspiration from, you know, and like specifically draw inspiration on for that. And then also his the questions that we have surrounding you know, new technologies and new ways of doing things today, we can also draw inspiration, you know, from him in his ability to bring about diplomatic relationships throughout that would impact, whether it be, you know, the first lights on at Iolani Palace before, you know, the White House, or, you know, be bringing out and attributing so strategically and so brilliantly the Kumulipo, you know, and tying it back to all the major genealogies and of course to his particular lineage, to bring the Lahui together. Those things too is inspiration, you know, for not only FestPAC, but for all of us individually in our work. Yeah, I just had expressed, and I'm gonna diverse just for 20 seconds or so to talk about Kuhio Kalanianaole. In discussing about him, you know, it really hit me that, wow, that should be our aumakua, our ali'i aumakua for when we talk about civic engagement, right? On a very kind of Lahui Hawaii centric, you know, way, in the way that we're approaching it. Well, Kalakaua in that same vein of looking at our ali'i for particular, to draw strength from, and even to openly ask for inspiration from. I think FestPAC is the perfect connection to Kalakaua to draw inspiration from, because of his diplomatic relationships throughout the Pacific, because of his particular focus on bringing forward and remembering all of our cultural connections to ancestral strength and wisdom, and because of his ability to look fearlessly forward to things that could positively impact, you know, our Lahui. So I will leave you all with that. And mahalo nui for all the work that you guys continue to do to make this happen.
Mahalo, former Commissioner Hind. We appreciate seeing you. I forgot mana'o. It's good to have you back. We'll always love to have you back anytime. Okay, so I got ahead of myself. I'm gonna take another deep breath because my mind was racing before I even got here, and then I just went goal, out the gate, running. I'm actually going to pivot a little bit, and I'm going to sort of take something out of order just because I feel like it's a little bit better. But I actually want to give a little bit of time to Commissioner Salah to make an introduction before we get too far down in the agenda item today. And so Commissioner Salah.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, Commissioners, members of the public. I just wanted to take a second to introduce the Deputy Director of the Department of Parks and Recreation. Her name is Kehaulani Pu'u. She lives in Kapolei now. She comes to the west side. She is going to be my partner in all things city and county, securing the venues, making sure that we have everything we need with the permits. So please give it up for her because I had to drag her a little bit, but she's really excited now.
Commissioners, if you want to say anything, please go ahead. I'll start. Kehaulani, mahalo nui. I know we've kind of interacted, I think, a little bit on the DMAP side too, but good to see you over here, and definitely going to need your kokua, but so grateful for that.
Hey, Kehal. It's been decades. It's really nice to see you, and I'm really looking forward to working with you again and Makanani on making this the best festival so far. Thank you. Welcome.
Okay. And Kehal, if you got anything for us, you want to introduce yourself beyond that, the floor is yours. And if not, that's okay too.
Oh, my Kaiwa, I'm looking forward to working with all of you and yeah, making this a success. It's good to see lots of familiar faces and former Kumueng colleagues. So thank you for the opportunity. Aloha.
Awesome. Okay, next thing, now we can move on. I'm gonna try again, just in case, because I kind of got cut off a little bit. If there are members of the public who want to testify in today's agenda item, please go ahead and unmute yourself and turn on your camera and let us know. Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next agenda item, which is circulation and approval of the minutes of our October 25th meeting. Again, I apologize, it got stuck with me this time. So members, I recognize you guys haven't had a terrible amount of time to review the minutes, but if you guys do feel comfortable, I don't want to hold us up if we don't, but I'd entertain a motion to either defer approval or to approve them today.
I move to approve the minutes from October 25th.
It's
I
been moved and seconded. Discussion, members? No discussion. Okay, we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair Salah.
Aye.
Commissioner Ani Benham.
Aye.
Commissioner Ani Benham. Commissioner
Aye.
Bento. Commissioner Bento.
Aye.
Commissioner De Silva.
Aye.
Commissioner Keokalole.
Aye.
Commissioner Hussey.
Aye.
Commissioner Lum.
Aye.
And I think that's everyone. Did I get everyone? Okay, awesome. Gonna go ahead and move on to permitted interactions. If there were any permitted interactions pursuant to Act 103, Session Laws of Hawaii 2021, please go ahead and disclose them now. I'm not aware that the Venues Committee or the Administrative Standing Committee meetings had any between our regular fully agendized meetings. So I'm not aware of any other permitted interactions. Members? Okay, I'm getting head nods, no. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to agenda item number 5. And so today's agenda item was to discuss an act regarding support of NAHA's finalists for the position of festival director. So had a conversation with Malia in preparation for today that basically, I think we're ready now to share publicly that NAHA has selected Aaron Salah as the finalist for festival director. And so today we'd like to entertain a motion, and I'll go ahead and make the motion, and then we can go ahead and discuss from there. But I would move that the commission support NAHA's selection and hiring of Aaron Salah for the position of FestPAC Festival Director.
Second.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Jared.
We'll just count the both of you as first and second, and I can stay out of it, if that's okay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, and then Senator, you second. Any discussion, members? Okay, I do want to just state for clarity again that the hiring is actually being done by NAHA on our behalf, and so that's why we're supporting NAHA, and that's why the wording is as such. And so the other thing I'd like to do is we'll also go ahead and do a roll call vote. And if we're ready for that, and if members don't have any discussion, then we can go ahead and go. Okay, hearing none. I'm going to go ahead and chair votes aye. Vice chair is recused. Commissioner Ani Benham is also recused. Commissioner Bento.
Aye.
There it is. I was like waiting. I heard myself coming through slow, so I figured before I add more.
Aye.
Commissioner De Silva,
Aye.
Commissioner Hussey,
Aye.
Commissioner Keokalole.
Okay.
And then Commissioner Lum.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, members. So all members who were able to vote today did vote in the affirmative. And then just for the record, and just to be extra clear, Commissioners Ani Benham and Salah recused themselves from today's vote. And that is the only agenda item we had for today, members. So the next thing I want to do is I want to open up the floor again to public testimony. If there are any members of the public who would like to testify in today's agenda item, go ahead and unmute and turn on your camera and let us know. Aloha, Aaron. The floor is yours.
Aloha. He wahi leo mahalo ia oko pakahi I ka oko kako ana mai ia naha. I ka naha hai ana iau. I very much look forward to this. I'm so thankful to be working with Executive Sanders and all of you collectively and individually. And I just want to make a really quick comment on Senator Keohokalole's vehena today. And it conjured for me an article that was actually written by Kihei De Silva on a mele called Mauna Kea. It was recorded by Eddie Kamai, and the first line is E haia na Mauna Kea. And what's fascinating about how Kihei positioned Emma as she was traversing the island chain and really ho'iana I Kapiko, it's an interesting juxtaposition for me because the way that Kalakaua envisioned the building of the nation, he built the nation by going out into the world and treatying with Iran and treatying with Germany and treatying with all of these incredible countries in order to establish the nation. Emma went to the Pico, and she decided that it was important for her that she understand what was going on on different parts of the island. And what I think is fascinating is the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture affords us an opportunity to do both simultaneously. We are reaching out into the Pacific and sending our upena out and bringing all of these incredible cultures and the people that these cultures belong to here and inviting them to our home. And then we also have a chance for us to dig deep and ho'i kapiko in a way and assure that the people that we are bringing here also are connected to place. And so I look forward to that work with all of you. And I thank you for this support. And Executive Sanders, I will call you immediately after this meeting. Mahalo.
Thanks, Aaron. Any other members of the public would like to testify today? Malia?
No, I just wanted to thank the commission for their trust in this process. And I look forward to working with Aaron to execute the deliverables of the commission. So mahalo nui for this opportunity. Aloha.
Thanks, Malia. Okay, any other members of the public wishing to testify today? Going once, twice, third time's a charm. Want to go ahead and move on to our agenda item number 7, announcements. Malia, after this meeting, will distribute to members a proposed 2022 meeting schedule. So we've laid out the full year's worth of meetings for the commission for 2022 in the calendar. And so she'll distribute that. And if you can flag Malia with any potential conflicts that you have for that schedule, I think that'd be super helpful for her. And then Commissioner De Silva.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to report to the commission that just previous to this meeting, I was in a Council of the Pacific Arts, a Cpac festival working group meeting. Oh my gosh. And so Hawaii has 2 parts to play in that working group. And one is that whenever they meet, the larger working group, we give an update on our festival plans. So I gave an update on our behalf today. And I let them know that I was 90% sure we were going to select a festival director today, that we have selected all our first choices for our venues. and that once our festival director is in place, that person has a very robust plan for the next year, and that I would be sure to inform them of our progress as we go along. Their SPC is really trying to work with me in opening communication, so I want to make sure that the commission knows that, and that we're aware of trying to keep in communication with them as well. And I also want to just put on your radar, Chair, that there are two big questions. One is the virtual possibilities, which I told them we're going to wait until 2022 Youth Ambassador Program virtual convening happens before we see what the problems are and what the potentials are. And then we can give them that report better after we play it out. And the second was COVID protocols and health protocols. And I told them that, they're all concerned about having those in place early enough that the countries can address vaccines, masks, all the things that might be needed. So just want to put that on our radar and say that I told them that we were going to put forth the most strict protocols, that we would probably elect to put the stricter protocols in place, and then as things get better, then remove them rather than start light and have to increase as we go. But that whatever we put in place now, will change according to how the world health evolves, even beyond COVID. So just wanted to give that small report before we close today. And if anybody has questions, I'm happy to address them.
Members, questions for Commissioner/Chair De Silva? Senator.
Thank you for that. How are all those very well put considerations received?
Very well, very well. They always have more questions when you give them an answer, but I was able to relieve kind of their worries a little bit, and I'm trying to keep everything in this time frame of, we can't give you all the answers for everything today, but we do have a plan, and as each piece, as it's that piece is time to be pulled together and be shared, we'll do that. I told them I didn't want to give them information prematurely, that when we come to them, I want to make sure that it's solid. What I'm telling them is solid, and that we're not going to be fluctuating. So they were good. They were good with it. They were happy. For some reason, they had asked for the dates again. So I guess when we sent out the dates earlier this year, they didn't put it on their radar. So now they do. They were really happy to get the dates. And just to hear our progress, in our planning. So thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions, members, for Commissioner/Chair De Silva? Commissioner Lum, today, I think Mercury is in Gatorade, as they say.
I was just wondering when the next meeting is of Cpac. So when will we have to report on our progress with them the next time?
It is next year sometime. I don't have the date right now at my fingertips. I should, but I don't. And I will. I'll have to check and make sure that the date was confirmed. But it is going to be next year in the first quarter. So, Chair, I will confirm that with SPC and let you know, so that we know, and Aaron will know when we're going to give that report, and that we should have something very substantial at that point. Would be nice.
And actually, Commissioner, instead of sending it to me, can we send it to Malia first?
Yes, I will definitely send it to Malia. Yes.
Perfect. Awesome.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Mahalo.
Thanks, Commissioner Chair. So just for clarity, Commissioner De Silva is also the present chair of the Cpac because Hawaii hosts. So that's why I was doing that. So, okay, any other announcements, members? None.
Yeah, sorry, I do have one more, and that is just thank you, Commissioner Keoho Kalole, for reminding us that next week, Tuesday, is Kalakawa's birthday. So this is a good month to celebrate him and the good works that he's done, and for him to lead us into what we're planning for 2024. Mahalo.
I'm also going to add my leo mahalo to you, Senator, for that you got the Vehena opening schedule for November. I think we know the connection. Winking again for November. Kalakaua, I don't know. Let you guys do the math, but we'll figure it out. Okay, any other announcements? Okay, hearing no further announcements, our next meeting is November 22nd, same time, same place. Members, I appreciate you dearly. Thank you for all that you're doing behind the scenes and here in our commission meetings. And we hold them well. We keep this thing moving and keep on the momentum. I know it's the holidays. Please celebrate and gather responsibly and be safe and be well. Aloha. Oh, we gotta adjourn. That's our vote to adjourn. Everybody wave bye. Everybody raise their hand to say bye. We adjourn. Thanks, everyone. Aloha.
Aloha. Mahalo, Chair.
Mahalo.
Mahalo, everyone.
Hello.